Hey, it's Kristen from Beyond Real Estate, and today we are interviewing Nelson Parnas with Accurate Home Inspection based in Hudson, Massachusetts. Hi, Nelson.
How's it going, Kristen? Thank you for having me.
No problem. So today we're going to be talking about home inspections. Home inspections are really important for both buyer and sellers. Sellers, if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, someone like Nelson can do a pre-home inspection, but today we are going to stay on the topic of home inspections for buyers. So what are some of the three main things that come up with a buyer during home inspection?
Yeah, that's a good question. Home inspections can be very overwhelming for a prospective buyer, especially someone who's coming from a rental property and has absolutely no experience owning their own home. The first thing you need to keep in mind is that no home is perfect. There's always something minor, even in new construction. Some of the newest construction I've seen have actually had some pretty big deals. However, three common things that we find very frequently are failed seals on insulated windows. Modern windows now have 2 panes of glass, and you can have a seal failure. So you'll have moisture that goes in between the glass, and it gets a really fogged appearance, and it's just unsightly. It's something that's very simple to fix, but can be costly if you have multiple seal failures. The second thing we see very frequently is minor electrical issues. So ground fault circuit interrupters that fail prematurely, or just outlets that go dead from constant weather exposure. They're simple to replace, but very common, nothing to get too excited about.
We see the GFIs always come up at the home inspection issues, GFI plugs.
Yeah, it's a safety device. They work similarly as a concept to the breakers in a circuit panel, but just way more sensitive. And then the third common thing that we see in just about every single house that sounds really silly are loose toilets. Okay, there are 2 bolts that secure the toilet to the floor frame, and if they're not tightened properly, every single time someone sits on that toilet to go use it, it'll rock slightly, and you'll have a little bit of water seeping out, and it actually can rot the subfloor, which can be a very big issue, and something that can be taken care of quite easily.
All right, go check your toilet. All right, well, those three I can attest to saying that they do definitely come up during home inspections. And it's good to know. A buyer can say, okay, well, that might be a very typical situation. There are other things that are probably big ticket items, though, that buyers tend to be a little bit more concerned about.
So here at Accurate Home Inspections, we have 5 big ticket items that we like to call the 5 biggies. Each one in itself can add up to be quite a large sum of money. By themselves, they can be simple to tackle, but just expensive nonetheless. The first one is worn out roofs. A roof only has a finite life, and once it starts to show its age, once your shingles start to become brittle, you have curling of the shingles, it starts to get worn out, and it's just time to replace it. The second one is old, tired heating systems. If you don't take care of your heating system, especially if you have oil, it'll get worn out quickly, and then it's not as efficient. It can be very expensive to operate and expensive to replace as well. The third one that we run into quite frequently are worn out kitchens and bathrooms. Rooms in the house, they get used quite frequently, but over a long duration of time just get worn out through daily use. And especially if the house is getting into 30 to 40 years old, it's time to update these things.
Yeah.
And they can be quite costly depending on what kind of cabinets you want in the kitchen, what type of granite you want.
Right.
And it can be very expensive. The fourth item is going to be worn windows. Worn out windows meaning old windows that are very drafty. There's a good chance they have lead paint on them. They operate with cords and weights, and not modern sash cords.
And being from New England, we tend to have, in this part of the country, a lot more homes they're just older. Other parts of the country, the houses aren't that old, but here in New England, we definitely have those. Absolutely.
Yeah. Some people like those old houses, and if they are for you, good for you. But keep in mind that there's a good chance they need some updating, and it can be quite costly. And the fifth worst biggie is absolutely hacked renovations. I cannot tell you how many flips in homes I've seen, and Kristen, I'm sure you've seen many as well, that they've been done by somebody's brother-in-law who watched HGTV once, and now they think they're a master in every single trade.
Yes, the do-it-yourself projects. You know, you have to have a sense of humor sometimes when we go through these home inspections, because we have pretty much seen it all. Hire a professional, get it done, especially if you're thinking about selling your house, you know, in the next even 3 to 5 years. If you put a Band-Aid over it, you may end up paying for it twice to be done the right way. So, well, I really appreciate all your information. And again, do you want to just let everybody know how they can get in touch with you?
Yeah. Thank you again for having me, Kristen. Thank you for Beyond Real Estate. My name's Nelson Parnas. I'm an associate home inspector with Accurate Home Inspections based out of Hudson, Massachusetts. You can call me at 508-561-1103, or you can find our website at accuhomeinspect.com. Thank you very much.
I will put Nelson's contact information in the comment section below. Thanks again.
Thank you.